What do we normally have when we go to the pub?
Lager. So you go for a nice lovely pint. Yeah, yourself?
After I've had that, then it'll be a nice little rum.
Okay, so start from the get the froth down you, get the beer down, get the pint down you, then you go for night and start settling on the spirits. Good. So as you said, in a pint, give me about 240, 250 calories could be in there, depending the strength of the beer and what else is in it. Could be some nice fruity ales. We've got a lot more sugar as well. Cider's really calorific with apples and everything. If you wanted to be a little bit more smart, if someone to drink beer, what could you swap this out for?
Well, I tweeted a text the other night. I found this skinny lager. Yeah, it's 89 calories a bottle.
The last word, bottle. You can always substitute one of this out for a bottle. So if you're getting rounds, instead of getting around a pint, especially if it's your round, normally if I'm in the pub, it's always where I always get first round. And I always like to start off myself by controlling it as well. So rather than go for a pint, as much as I like a nice style rather than a pint more than them, I'll go for like a bottle of Bud or something, or a bottle of Corona. And at least from there, I'm having half of what a pint is. So from 240, about 150, 130 right there. Cool. Well, you can go for halves, but nobody likes to always go for halves. But here comes the interesting part. Drinking at home, right, not all of us may do it at times. Sometimes I'm quite good with that. In terms of that, I don't really drink at home unless it's a big occasion or if it's like a big final or something, but I generally tend to don't drink. But it can be really dangerous, especially if you're going after wine, spirits. So if you're pouring yourself a nice glass of wine at home, are you actually doing it to sort of like the recommended, or are you really filling it up? Really filling it up?
Fill it up because you don't make too many trips, do you?
Exactly. You're really filling it up. And you're not really going to go for a small glass, are you? You're going to go for a nice lager, but you're literally just fill up the entire thing, like having a full pint. But when you go out into a restaurant, they'll always say, oh, when you ask for like a glass of wine, how often do they say, oh, you fancy getting a bottle, it's a little bit more cheaper? But then you're sort of consuming about, sort of full bottle is probably around about how many calories, about close to about 400 or 500 at least there. But you're also paying almost double the amount we normally pay for the same sort of wine in the shop. But let's move on to spirits. So who's a big good spirit drinker yourself? Within this tumbler, can you pour yourself from here what your measure would be at home?
Yeah, if I have to.
Go for it.
I'm not very good, to be fair, because I just kind of stop at about there and then normally top it up as well.
So that, okay, let's actually measure it out. So over here I've got, come prepared, double, I've got a single. I think this is going to be more than a double, so if I start pouring, I'll try my best not to spill, so that's one. So I've got a double there, so that's 50 millilitres right there. No, 55, yes, 50 millilitres. That's one. Two, so you've got 4 measures right there.
Wow.
So if I was to do, that's probably about 5.5 measures of whiskey or rum or whatever you are having. Anybody else a spirit drinker here?
Yeah, I have vodka, but
Go on.
I literally have one shot, and then
Have you got one of these at home as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's clever.
But I have it with diet lemonade as well.
You have to have lemonade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll put a double in.
We'll put a double in. So it's always handy to have sort of one of these around.
Yeah.
You can probably get these quite cheap online, or if you buy the sort of Schweppes sort of bottles as well, sometimes they come with it. But yeah, but you can see the difference, how dangerous it is in terms of what you are pouring yourself. So yeah, we like to be a little bit more generous on our home because we're not paying for it. You've already paid for the bottle. Pay about a nice bottle of gin. I paid 14, 15 quid for that. But do I actually have one of these at home? I probably will start getting them now, especially when it comes to Christmas. But I'll have to be a little bit more careful. Again, as you start having more and more and more, your sort of measures will be like, oh yeah, I'm pouring it, oh yeah, and then I'll top it up with that much sort of mixer, and that's my full sort of, that's my drink there. But then you're probably run about close to about 8 times off over the limit just by pouring all that in. So just being really careful. So in restaurants, always try and what they'll also do, or even pubs as well. How often do you get snacks with your pints as well? Pack of crisps or some nuts and stuff.
Pork scratchings.
Pork scratching. Now, what's one of the big ingredients of that?
Salt.
Salt. What does salt make you? It makes you thirsty. So you have one part. I'll get some pork scratchings. I'll get some KP roasted nuts or the salted nuts, or I'll get a pack of ready salt crisps.
You got to Spain, they put them on the bar, don't they?
Yeah.
You help yourself.
So as you do that, or having more salt makes you more thirsty. Have more pints. More pints makes you more hungry, so you get more. And you get, if you're like myself from Leicester, oh, you order yourself a nice tandoori sizzler or mixed grill. You know, so it's just being really careful and be quite wise about what you're sort of having. So if the restaurant asks you, oh, fancy a bottle, so that you stick like a glass of wine, or no more than 2, or just share it. Have one, get a bottle, just share it amongst the table.